Hi friends, it's Ivy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my September wrap up. I have found that journaling my reads has been so helpful, especially last month because I read quite a few ebooks from the library. So writing them down in the journal has been helpful. My hair is like glued into the journal. That's cute. The first book I read and finished in September was Save the Date by Morgan Matson. This was my first Morgan Matson and I am very, very pleasantly surprised, especially because this one was like centered around a wedding and I'm really not like into weddings. Like, I don't want to get married. I don't particular why does that sound weird? Does that sound weird? I don't know. You know what I'm saying. I don't really like attending weddings, but I was in my sister's wedding and actually it was like the most fun wedding I have ever been to, and it was just a blast. Like, her wedding was a blast. So then I felt in the mood to pick up Save the Date, and this book is about, our main character is the sister of a girl who's getting married, and the wedding planning thing is not working out. Things just keep happening that are like causing chaos, and our main character is like helping smooth things over a lot. And her mother is famous for this like comic strip about their family. It's like the final comic is coming out, so that's like a big deal, and they're selling their family home, and like that's a big deal, and it's just a lot happening. And I literally laughed out loud like so many times reading this, and it's a pretty big contemporary, but let me tell you, it flew by. Like, I read this so quick, like, and typically I'm not one to really enjoy long contemporary books, so I was a little uncertain about how this one would go for me, but like I said, I flew through it. I loved it and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I did tear up a bit too, but I laughed more than I cried, so it's a win for me, and I can't wait to dive more into Morgan Matson's books and really see if she's a new fave. The next book I finished was Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu, and I listened to this on audiobook and I generously gave it 2 stars, but if I'm being honest, like it's really like a 1 star for me. Like, I didn't really enjoy anything about this. I didn't enjoy the Mozart storyline. I didn't enjoy the dream things with the, I guess this is like kind of like fairy, and here's the thing, I was thinking about this. I really enjoyed Winter Song. I actually forget who the author is and I don't even know where the book's at right now. But while reading this, I was thinking, oh wow, fans of Winter Song probably really liked this book, but I liked Winter Song, but I didn't like this one because there's kind of like a fairy like aspect happening here. It's about like the Mozart siblings, and I understand the time period and that women were suppressed in this time period, but it also just like wasn't fun, like being back in that frame of mind where her brother was getting all the credit for like her being talented and her dad was just a jerk. I just didn't like this. I'm unhauling it. Honestly, Yesenia, if you want to put this on your mother's bookshelf, you can. I'll put it in your room, or I'll just wait for you to get here, because I actually have a few other books to give to you. The next book I finished in September was The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith, and I got a signed copy, and this cover is just stunning. I mean, honestly, I pre-ordered this one and I was very excited for its release because it is about a witch, and she goes to Haxhaven Women's School for Witches, and while she is there, she soon realizes that they're not teaching her really any set of skills for witchcraft. They're kind of teaching like household chores and suppressing women's magic in this, when is this time period? 1911, New York City. And also her brother was murdered and her mother is in an insane asylum. So throughout this novel we want to figure out who murdered her brother, but then also other boys are being murdered. There's kind of a lot that happens in this novel. I read it during a vlog, so I'll leave that up there for you. This book completely started off with a bang. I was automatically intrigued and did not see that coming. If you read the synopsis, then you will be spoiled for this thing, so I recommend not reading the synopsis, because then you'll go into the novel and then it will shock you. Our main character was kind of not smart. She didn't think things through clearly. She was very naive and easy to manipulate in my eyes, so that was kind of disappointing because I was very much looking for like a strong female lead, much like The Nature of the Witches. Now Clara in The Nature of the Witches, that girl was brilliant. This girl, she was stupid for boys and I didn't like that. So anyways, I do think it was a pretty good debut novel. I thought Sasha's writing style was easygoing. It was easy to read. It flowed easily. I enjoyed her writing style, so I will pick up her next release, whatever that may be, to see if her sophomore book is better than her debut novel, because sometimes that tends to happen as authors get better with their writing. And hopefully she writes a stronger female character, because I think she can and I think that she should. I gave that 3 stars. Hopefully my review helps you determine if you want to read this or not. Well, the next book I read I'll put here. I borrowed from the library. It was the Tea Dragon Festival by, I always get her name wrong, if it's Katie or Kate or Kay. Oh, it's Kay O'Neill. That was the sequel to the Tea Dragon Society. Me and Landon had played this Tea Dragon game while he was visiting me. I bought it for him at Barnes & Noble, and so we played it a couple of times and it was a lot of fun, and it really got me into the mood to immerse myself back into that world. So I picked up the sequel and it was very cute. The drawing and artistry of these graphic novels are very beautiful, and honestly the little tea dragons are just so cute. This one is about this dragon, like not a tea dragon but a real dragon, who accidentally overslept and missed their original festival. So that was really cute. I really liked that. The next one I read was Aquacorn Cove by Kay O'Neill, and this one was about this little girl who lost her mother and she's going back to visit her aunt, and she learns about the aquacorn. I gave that one 5 out of 5 stars as well. I thought it was really cute, and again the artistry is very beautiful, and I really recommend, you know, if you have like Overdrive or Libby or something, I just really recommend borrowing these from the library. They're super quick reads and you'll really enjoy your time in them. Like, it'll take you no time at all, honestly. If your library doesn't have them, request them, or if they're already borrowed, just put it on hold, because trust me, they're good. They're really good. The next thing I read in September was Orange by Ichigo Takano. This is a manga about a girl who receives a letter from her future self telling her to like follow these steps, and she kind of like passes it off as like a joke, like somebody's messing with her, so she doesn't really listen. And then those things happen, and then she ends up going like, oh crap, I should have listened to that letter. I'm going to listen to it from now on, because eventually what is going to happen is they're trying to save their friend from dying. And this was a very emotional and beautiful story. I really want to get volume 2. I was talking to Jade about this and she told me the anime is really good as well, so I want to read the next volume so then I can watch the anime. And then also I'm going to send this to Jade so she can borrow it and read it. And it was just a really good read for me because I had someone, Jade, to talk to about it with, and so I don't know, it was just kind of like a special read for that aspect. When it comes to mangas, I always forget how to read them, so it always takes me a bit to get back into them. But this one flowed very nicely, and it was a super easy read to connect with and enjoy, so I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. And like I said, I'm really excited to grab volume 2. I actually looked for it at Barnes & Noble and they didn't have it the last time I went, and then they didn't have anything I was looking for the last time I went to Barnes & Noble's, and I left with nothing. Like, it was an utter disappointment. And then they're always like, can I help you find something? And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, we don't have it. Well, we can order it. And I'm just like, no, I can order it at home. I came here for the experience of picking a book up off the shelf and taking it home with me. That's just a little side note. Anyways, I loved this. Jade, thank you for talking with me about it, and I can't wait to talk to you about volume 2. The next book I read in September was The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. This, whoa. Okay, let me start off by saying, this book is adult, but it very much reads like middle grade with a lot of cursing and profanity and just like rated R-ness happening, but it reads very much like a middle grade. So just know that going in. I had a friend who DNF'd it because she didn't enjoy the writing style, and she reads a lot of middle grade, so that was kind of weird that it like didn't mesh with her. Like, this is a very kind of, either you're gonna enjoy this writing style or you're not, is basically what I'm trying to say, because it's just kind of written odd, but the whole book is odd. So I was very much anticipating this one, and unfortunately it did not hit its mark for me, and I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. It is a book about a girl who can see ghosts. This mother comes to her and she's like, my son is missing. He went missing with his friend, but his friend comes back, and the friend is all like old, and they're like little boys, and now the friend like is old. He looks old, he's rotting, it's like he doesn't smell nice, his face is all morphed and messed up, and the dead mother is like, please find my son. So, and she like has this like big thing where she doesn't like work for free, but then her grandma like tells her like, look, just do this favor, like this mother like came to you. And so she's on the hunt for this little boy. There's this like weird house thing where like it draws people in because you see through the window like what you most desire, so that you'll go inside the house, and then like once you're in there, like you're screwed. The plot twist of this did shock me. I didn't see that coming, so there's that. But all in all, like, I'm not saying it 2 stars horrible. That's not what I'm saying, because if this was horrible, then I wouldn't have kept reading it. But it just, like I said, it didn't hit its mark, and I probably won't read the sequel, and it just wasn't what I was expecting. And this is very important, I want to say this. It is called The Library of the Dead. The library is the tiniest aspect of this novel. It is not even significant enough to be on the title, because it's very misleading. Very misleading. The dead part's not, but the library part is, because the library is literally so insignificant in the story that it's just like, why did you even put that in the title? Like, it's very misleading. So I do really want to make note of that. If you are still interested in this book, I suggest still checking it out, because it might be for you. I have to go grab my other book because it's somewhere else. Okay, so the next book I read and finished in September was The Beautiful by Renee Addier. This was a reread for me, and so I picked it up on audiobook. This book is about a girl who, I forget her name, Celine? Yes. She flees France and goes to New Orleans, and it is set in 1872, and there are some murders happening. There's slight vampires, there's a monster in this novel who's after her. The first time I read this, I just remember being so blown away, I picked this up so that I could read the sequel, and then actually the 3rd book comes out I think at the end of this year. So I still haven't read the sequel. I'm going to get to it, so like please don't harass me, or do, you know, make sure I read it. But because this was a reread for me, I didn't immerse myself fully into the reread, which sounds weird, but like that happened. I still kept my original rating of 5 stars to honor the way I felt the first time I read the book, but like literally maybe it's more like a 4-star on my reread rating scale. But like I said, I'm keeping the 5 stars to honor the first way I felt when I read this, because I loved Sebastian and I loved Celine, and I really enjoyed these characters, and I really enjoy, you know what it is for me about this book? It's the setting. It is the setting. Renee Addier really knocked it all out of the ballpark with this one. Like, she really researched New Orleans, and I loved that. So I need to read the sequel. I need to do that. Another graphic novel I checked out from the library is called Bloom by Kevin Peda. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. This is a book about 2 boys. One of them, his family owns a bakery, but he doesn't really want to work in the bakery. He wants to be a musician. And then another boy, he really wants to work in the bakery, and they end up working in the bakery together. And it's just, it was a really cute story. I really enjoyed my time reading it. Didn't blow me away, but also I still really liked it, so I give it 3 stars. I really enjoyed that the whole story is written in blue tones. Well, it's a graphic novel, so the pictures, the art is in blue tones too, is what I'm saying. I recommend that. If you thought about reading it, you should. Well, this is the final book that I read in September, and if I'm being honest, which I always am, I actually read this at the very beginning of October. So at the end of September, I went to Disneyland, and so I kind of lost some days of reading. And this is, okay, I lost the days of reading because I was working so much, and I had 1 day off, and I took that day to go to Disneyland, and it was like a there and back type thing, and I went on like 1 hour of sleep very recklessly. Don't worry, I didn't drive, but I had a lot of fun. So because of that, this book didn't make it in September, but I was reading it for the September Literally Dead book club pick. So I'm like cheating a little bit here because I did read this in October, but I'm putting it in my September wrap up because it was on my September TBR. Listen, for me, it just makes sense, okay? That's all that matters. And I genuinely don't think you guys care. So this is All's Well by Mona Awad, and this is by the author of Bunny, who if you read that, you know it's very bizarre. I think Mona is just kind of her own genre of bizarre books. That's fine for me. She has one other book that I haven't read yet that I would really like to, but she is a great author, and I really enjoy diving into her works and reading them. I think they're strange and unusual, and for that I'm here for it. So this book, though, is about a professor who deals with chronic pain, and she is having her class put on the Shakespeare play All's Well that ends well. She goes into this bar and meets these 3 strange guys, and they give her this drink, and they tell her like, you can transfer your pain, and so she does. And it's kind of really messed up because like nobody believes that she's in pain. She fell and like broke her hip, and then like it just like messed everything up. And I wholeheartedly connected with this character. Like, I literally feel for her because I'm in constant chronic pain, and it's just not fun. And it's really not fun when you don't have a reason why this is happening to you. Like, you just live through it, and people constantly like ask you like, well, were you injured, and blah 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 and blah blah blah, and you're just like, this is just my life. Like, I'm always hurting. So I really connected with her and her story. And Mona Awad, She puts you through it. She puts you through it. Like the anxieties of physical therapy and all that, like I feel that, which I'm going to physical therapy in like 2 hours. So yay for me. I really felt for this main character. Like I felt for her, and she just started to really lose it. Bizarre, what the fuck, connected to the chronic pain. The professor lost it. Oh, I did make some notes too of some things I wanted to talk about. When I'm saying the professor lost it, she really went delirious. It's kind of even hard to explain this because it's not a horror novel, it's not a mystery novel, it's not even like fiction. Like there are magical aspects, like there's a little bit of witchcraft that happens in here, so I really enjoyed the witchcraft also. As I said, the pain and connecting to the acupuncture and all that stuff, it was a little jolting. I'm not gonna lie, it took me back a few times, but honestly it was such an important read, and it was important that Mona Awad didn't shy away from the harsh truth of what dealing with chronic pain is. And so I did give this 4 out of 5 stars. It didn't quite hit the 5-star mark for me, but I really did love this book. And also I went back and forth between physically reading and the audiobook, so I recommend both ways because the audiobook was fantastic and reading with my eyes was fantastic, so you really can't go wrong in picking this one up. Also, if you're looking for this book, I bought the Canadian edition because I really wanted this cover. The US cover is different and still very interesting, a little creepy, but I actually paid like, I don't know, like the extra like $28 in shipping that it cost me to get the Canadian edition. So if you're looking for this cover, if you go to buy this book, it's not, it's this cover right here, so just so you know. Anyways, I think that's gonna be it for the September wrap up. It's kind of a bit long. You know what, I really read a lot in September. I read good things that I really enjoyed and some things that were kind of like meh, but that's okay. I'm really excited for my reading for the rest of the year, but I'm also a little scared because November, December are like my slumpy months. I'm going to reframe that way of thinking and just hope for the best. So please let me know if you've read any of these, or if because I talked about them you're now interested in them. I'd actually really love to know that. If you've made it to the end of this video, how about you guys leave me the like laugh now cry later like mask thing emoji, you know, with the double like masks. Leave me that one, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. May the force be with you. Bye.